Question number 20, we're asked to convert 6,784 from base 10 to base 16. Remember that when you're going from like a base 16 or base 7 into base 10, we multiply. But when we're going from base 10 into a different base, we're going to use a division algorithm. Before I get into working this one out, I need to talk a little bit about base 16. Recall that, if we have a base 5 number, or we're looking at a base 5 system, then I can only use the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's no 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 in base 5, so only 0 up through 4. In base 16, then I've got the numerals 0, 1, 2, up through 9, but then I also have the numeral 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and 1, 5. And now I've got a little bit of a problem because 1, 0, how does that compare to using the numeral 1 followed by the numeral 0? So what I need to do is have a single digit that'll represent, each of these. So that's when we use A to represent 1, 0. B will be 1, 1. Then we use C, D, E, and F. So those are going to act as like numbers in base 16. So coming back over to our question here, so I'm going to set up my division. There's basically two different division algorithms you can use. I'm going to show you the one that I like the most. I'm going to start off with my 16, and I need to see how many times it'll divide into 6,784. So I'm going to use my calculator for this, and I get 424. And then when I multiply 424 by 16, we get 6,784. We subtract, and so 0 is my remainder. Keep track of your remainders. So now I got to take 16 into 424. So 16 divided into 424. And so that'll go to there 26 times. And when I multiply 26 by 16, we get 416. I subtract, and so my remainder is 8. So let me keep going. So 16 goes into 26. So 16 divided into 26. It'll go in there once. 1 times 16 is 16, and when I subtract, my remainder is 10. I'm going to go one more time. So 16 divides into 1. 16 doesn't go into 1, so it goes in there 0 times, and my remainder is 1. So once you get a 0 up here in this last spot, that's when you know when you stop. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. My answer is going to be my remainders, but backwards. So 1, 10, 8, 0. And remember, this you need to treat as a single digit. We're replacing it with A. So my answer is 1, A, 8, 0, and this is base 16. And there's my answer. Okay, now I'm going to look at the other method used to convert into other bases. So what we do like here is it's similar to where we multiplied out by 16 to the first, or 0 power, then the first power, the second power, and the third power. So let me go ahead and start by first listing out our powers of 16. So I've got to look at 16 to the 0 power, which is 1. 16 to the first power, I need 16 squared, which is 256. 16 to the third power, I get 4,096. That's not quite enough. You have to make sure we get, exceed this number here. So now we know we've gone up far enough. So let me try 16 to the fourth power. I know that's going to be really big. That's going to be 65,536. Okay, so that's too big. That's larger than the number 6,784. So we're not going to use that one. So we're going to be starting off with 16 to the third power. Okay, so let's see. How many times will 16 to the third divide into my numbers, 6,784. So 16 to the third is going to be 4,096. So that'll go into there once. And leave me with a remainder of, 2,688. Okay, so this then is going to be on my digits. I'm going to do the same thing again, except for I've already used 16 to the third, so now I've got to look at 16 squared. So how many times will 256 divide into 2,688? So it's going to go in there 10 times. Multiply, subtract, so I get 128. So 10 is going to be my next digit. And remember, 10 is equal to A, so I'm actually going to use A. So now I've used my 16 squared. So now I got to see how many times will 16 divide into 128. So that'll go into there 8 times, leaving me 0 left over. So 8's my next digit, and then I got to go one more time. And I know I got to go one more time because I haven't used 16 to the 0 yet. So now I got to say 16 to the 0 power. So 1 goes into 0. How many times? 0 times. And so my remainder is 0. So my last digit is going to be a 0. So the number I'm looking for is 1A8 0, and this is in base 16. And you can use, like I said, either method. I don't care which one you use. Just make sure that you're dividing and that you're showing me some work, and it's one of these two methods.